it's really important that people recognize their own greatness. It's easy to put people on pedestals. You look up to people or you get attracted to someone, and all you see is how beautiful they are on the inside and out. And it's easy to then feel potentially inferior. You're not even recognizing how great you are as an individual. Now, fortunately for me, I don't suffer from that. I know how awesome I am. I mean, look at me. It's ridiculous. There's some truth to it, to be totally honest. But yeah, I don't walk around with like an inflated ego. It's just the ego matches my awesomeness, so it's not inflated. God damn it! Again, I'd love to say, "Oh, I don't mean it," but I mean it. So, yeah, I mean, I could sit there and point out all my personality traits, but I'd say it's up to people to figure that out. Um, yeah, I know my value, but this isn't about that. This isn't about me. Not do that. It's not. It's not. Let's not inflate. Yeah, I didn't want to derail. So anyway, what it stems from. Maybe thinking about this a little bit. Really, stems from sort of my daughter. She's 14. She's attracted to someone. She's just got I think I think it happens to teenage girls more than boys, but boys obviously everyone goes through it. But it's this all of a sudden they can't. You see someone with certain infatuation, and you lose your senses really. And I find it's quite hilarious. So she's effectively reposting. If anyone knows, obviously, when you're following people on, when your mutual friends are following and whatnot, it comes up that person reposted this video, so this person reposted this video. So I see an awful lot of this sort of ones pointing towards, when no one says anything to each other about their feelings, or you look across the room. I mean, all this. I'm like, for crying out loud. So effectively, you get a window into their life, if you like, through that, even if they don't tell you. She's quite transparent with me, so just tell me. Yeah. It's just I find it quite interesting. But I did say to her, I said, look, as much as you maybe like this person, I said, it's really important that you do realize how absolutely amazing you are, though. Like, don't lose sight of that when you're losing your mind, because she's incredible. She is. She gets her looks from me, so there's a level of beauty to her features, and she has the same humor as me. So effectively, we're just very similar people, and I can't help but think if I'm awesome, stands to reason she's pretty incredible. I used to say to her as she's growing up, I say, you're great, but I am better. And she go, hey. I go, well, it's true. No, I've always empowered her, but yeah, I've always told her how great I am. Um, yeah, I don't know, I just can't stop. But yeah, I've been like that her whole life, so I'm not going to stop now in this. Um, but yeah, she knows, and it's like she stands out like a sore thumb. In all honesty, she has this endearing qualities, and it's like I don't say it because I have similar qualities. I'm just we share very similar personalities and things. But it's just obviously I watch on and I just look at I'm like I'm in awe sometimes, because I'm helping people, but she has more compassion than me. I say that, but sometimes she has lack of compassion too. So, but she's growing, of course. But it's that balance to her personality that I just find beautiful. You take away any physical attributes, and then you focus on the person. And yeah, it's not just because she's my daughter. I just recognise just how beautiful she is. And I just recognise anyone would be truly lucky to have someone like that. She's very nurturing and caring, so she's supportive. She knows who she is, so she has like a strength to herself. But it's like she embraces who she is, and it's something obviously that's something like if anyone sees my content, you see I instill that in people, and obviously her is paramount. And I've always said that. I've always encouraged her just to be herself. Don't worry about what people think of you. It means nothing. It's irrelevant. You're the one that has to be with you every day, and it's important you don't lose your identity trying to fit in. You're better off having a smaller group if it means getting to be yourself, than trying to be a mirror of other people just to be popular and things like that. I would say to her, and she just embodies that so beautifully. she's herself, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care if she looks silly. She doesn't. It's irrelevant. And sometimes people will try and pick at her, and she has good comebacks, good quips. And for me, that's what people don't. I think people don't realize just how truly beautiful that trait is. That authenticity. I think when someone is genuinely themselves in a world where most people are copies of one another, I think that is one of the most beautiful traits you could have. And I witness it in her continually. And I'm so proud of her that she's just herself in every way. And it's something you could say is easier. Everybody, it's like, it's not. It's not. Most people succumb to peer pressure. And that's something she doesn't do. So she can be absolutely geeky, silly, ridiculous, but that's the charm. You know, like I said, she's got a lot of compassion. She's supportive of people. And she's just an awful lot of fun to be around. She's like a light, a source of light. So I was trying to say to her, like, you as much as you may like someone, just realize how lucky they are that you like them, because they're lucky. And I hope she doesn't lose sight of that throughout life. Because I think like anybody, you start getting attracted to someone, and then all of a sudden you lose your senses. And sometimes maybe you get insecure because you don't feel good enough now. It's like, no, you was always good enough. Always good enough. Um, and I think the thing is, like, I would say I was joking, but I weren't at all. Like, I know how great I am. I just do. I don't need other people to see it for me to know it. If you know what I mean. I don't need someone to put me down or lift me up. It's like I know my traits. It's not to elevate anything. It's just that all the things I've said about her, I have the same traits in me. And for me, I've through my healing journey, through the amount of things I've been through in my life, I've just gained more and more resilience. So, for instance, only specific people get every aspect of me. So if I'm in a professional state, for instance, where I do my videos on a regular basis, there's no need for me to be anything other than the professional side. I could be ridiculously whimsical and stupid and ridiculous. I can have a lot of fun, but I need someone to bounce off for that. I'm not going to just sit here and laugh. And I say that all the time. Like, I did a video yesterday talking about fake people who laugh on camera and it's not even funny. And it's like, what are we doing? Why I could do that, but what are we doing here? I only do it because I'm thinking it. If I'm laughing, I'm genuinely find it funny, and I actually make myself laugh, so I find that hilarious. And my daughter does too, because she does it to herself. People think she's a bit crazy. I said, yeah, people do that with me as well. But you've got something funny just going on in your head, and it's like, for you, it's absolutely hilarious, like watching theatre. And other people are not aware of it. It is what it is. But yeah, I think it's just really important that we all see our value and don't lose sight of that. And it's like one of the things people have been taught for so long is just to always put other people first. And almost like self love is a bad thing. It makes you look like arrogant, egotistical, sort of like you love yourself too much. And it's like, but the question then becomes, like, how can you possibly love yourself too much? If anyone deserves love, it's ourselves. Why should someone else deserve more love than us? And that's not from a selfish place. Like, why should we not feel love? And if we're going to love someone, then we better damn well learn to love ourselves. Otherwise you end up just becoming a people pleaser. You focus your whole life just trying to make other people happy and hoping that you get some sort of reaction back. And it's like, you need to give yourself that reaction first. So yeah. So if anyone ever, you never get me having a lack of confidence in myself. That is just not going to happen. It don't matter what anyone projects onto me. Someone could say, oh, you're this, you're that. And I go, you don't even know me. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe you just saw one side of me, or someone told you something and you believe in it. That doesn't affect me. You tell me anything that's a load of nonsense and I'll know if it's true or not. I know who I am. I know all my personality traits. If someone wants to project onto me based on some sort of perspective they have, it's absolute crap. It's like you're having a laugh, mate. So I could pick apart things, and someone else could go, "Oh, you're so boring," or you're not even, or you try to be funny. It's like, mate, I'm hilarious. You just haven't seen it. It's like people only get the version of me that they deserve. So like, I don't waste my time and energy on people that don't deserve my time and energy. So that's just the reality, isn't it? It's only those that are truly close to you will get every aspect, and that's what it is. So some people will think, oh yeah, do this, prove it, prove it. I don't. If anyone knows my journey, I couldn't give a shit. I don't prove nothing. I don't care because I just don't give a shit what someone thinks of me. Never have. So if someone thinks, oh, you better prove, if you don't prove it, ain't true. Well, you believe what you want if it makes you sleep better. I know my personality. Anyone knows me the most in my life is my mum and my daughter. And I make my mum laughs like crazy when I visit her, and she doesn't even like me leaving. My daughter will say, "Can you call me?" And we do a FaceTime because she doesn't live with me, and then we talk all day because she doesn't want me going anywhere. So if we could start a call at 10 a.m. or something, whenever she starts it, we'll be all there all the way till like late at night, like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Doesn't let me go anywhere. But likewise, I enjoy her company too. So when we're together, it doesn't end. So yeah, at the end of the day, I've always felt that if anyone, it's like my daughter, you know what I mean? It's so irrelevant what a stranger thinks, or even if someone knew me for, because again, they don't get every aspect. My daughter gets every aspect. So yeah, it's that's enough for me. But yeah, anyway, it's about empowering ourselves and believing in yourself, and I don't think it's a bad thing when you truly have a love of self. Because I know my personality. That's the thing. It's like I can't deny it. It's ridiculous. I can't think of everything off the top of my head because I'm not like I don't go like I'm not self obsessed like that. But obviously inherently we should know ourselves, and if you don't, I think that's an issue. I'm incredibly resilient. What would bring most people to their knees, I tend to rise from, and it's just the way it's been. I went through family court. I was accused of all sorts of things. I was brought to my knees just like everybody else would, but then I lift myself up because I refuse to be a victim of anything. And then I turn my biggest weakness into my biggest strength. And I'm unstoppable. And anyone that's witnessed my journey, especially those that have been involved in it, will know full well that I'm relentless. I'm like a steam train. It's just that's what I'm like. And once I get my focus on something, I will achieve it no matter what. So I'm very focused. I'm ambitious. I'm very, very, very talented. And I just am. It's that I'm good at what I do. I could sit here and talk forever, and some people can't communicate. I can communicate. I can articulate what I say. I'm very intelligent, so I can see through so many situations. I have the answer to many things. I'm very emotionally intelligent, which is something most people lack. So I'm very good in social situations. I can dissect and analyze pretty much most people, if not everybody. So just by watching them for a short period, I can figure out their mannerisms, their obviously the social interactions, their relationships, the dynamics, and I'm pretty good at seeing what people could do to improve their lives. So there's that side of things. Because I can articulate and I'm intelligent, I can also have the ability to turn that into books. So I can put it into not just speak it out loud like I'm doing now. I can translate that into the written word too. So I think I'm pretty good at what I do. Um, and like I said, because I'm very good at transmuting my situations and turning my weakness into my biggest strength, I then try to empower other people to do similar by sharing them how I do it. And then they realize they're not alone. And if this person can overcome this, or this person can put themselves through that, then maybe I can too. It might take slightly longer, but maybe it doesn't, because at the end of the day, I'm going unguided, where someone else maybe gets to hear my story, and maybe it helps speed them up. So there is that side of things. I'm very loyal. I've been single for 7 to 8 years. I can't remember now. I might as well just call it a decade, and soon enough, I'm just going to call it a lifetime. So that's that side of things. That's I have respect for myself too much to put myself in negative situations. So I'm not interested in toxic circumstances. So I'm not interested in like one night stands, short romances or stuff, because it'll always end in chaos. It'll be something happens, and then you've got more false accusations. You've put your energy towards someone who didn't deserve your energy, all because of a moment of weakness. I don't have weakness. I'm not a weak person. I'm very strong and resilient. So I don't fall into those situations that other people do, because they allow their desires to take over their emotions. I don't do that. So sometimes too smart for my own good, my own fault. Um, and like I say, I'm loyal because I think I've pretty much shown that side of things. I'm supportive of those who deserve my time and attention. I will lift someone up as high as I possibly can. I don't feel jealous towards other people's success. So For instance, if I'm trying to support someone, I don't try to hold them back in the hope that I get higher. I just want to see people do well. So especially in a relationship, I'll do everything I can to try to help find people gain their confidence and pursue their dreams too. It's not all about me and my journey; it's about other people too. So what do you need to be happy? I think that's important. I'm a very independent person, so I don't need someone to sort of keep me occupied or keep checking on me or worry about how I'm feeling. Because it's like, well, I'm pretty chill. I'm good on my own. You can leave me. You can leave me in a room for months on end, and I'm good. So I'm very self sufficient, self reliant. Um, yeah, I'm outspoken. So again, don't really care what people think or feel about me. It doesn't. It makes it irrelevant. If I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. If it ruffles feathers, it ruffles feathers. Because at the end of the day, it's an opinion. If people can't handle the fact that someone has an opinion, then I think that's something for them to work on, isn't it? Because it shouldn't affect you that much. If you believe in yourself enough, then what someone thinks of you shouldn't matter, should it? So if I've got opinion on something and they're that confident in themselves, then it shouldn't even matter what I think, should it? But if it triggers, then maybe there's something to be working on. Maybe I'm right. Maybe. But that's where I just find people a bit mental, where they take it so personal, they get aggressive, and it's like, my God, you're unhinged, because it's just words, it's just an opinion, and it's like sometimes people have to try and make people agree with them, otherwise they don't feel confident in themselves, and it's like, yeah, but you can't force someone to agree with you. That's the thing, isn't it? You can get aggressive and violent, but it still doesn't change someone's opinion. That's the thing I never understand with people. It's like you could beat someone almost to death and say, now say it, now say it. It's like, what are you doing, you idiot? They're still going to think you're a dickhead after it's finished, even if they was to say to you, no, you're the best, you're the best. What, you had to have your ego inflated to such an extent that it was felt damaged when the other person didn't say it to you? For them to say it to you now, you believe them, you moron, when it's obvious they're going to go after, they're going to say that person was an absolute asshole. But just because they were just physically stronger. So they're physically strong but mentally weak. It's like, what would you rather be? And it's like, again, I don't want to go on a huge tangent left, right, and centre, but I think it's quite obvious that I'm very good at analysing people, as I said before, and articulating the message. So with all that in mind, and the fact that I'm quite handsome fella, I'm not short, so I'm 5'11", nearly 6 foot. I always thought I was 6 foot until I measured myself. I went 5'11". How the hell am I like half an inch or 1 inch? Is it inches? Slightly off. So I was like, that's a bummer. Not that I give a shit, but I have that to my advantage, I suppose. I am English, so I think the English accent's really good, because I think we managed to communicate, well, some of us managed to communicate, I think, and it shows our intelligence. It's almost like it matches our brains, I guess. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of boxes to tick. A lot of boxes to tick. I'm very family orientated, and I think that's a bonus, because a lot of my family are actually like friend focused. They're too busy trying to posture to their friends and try to have everybody love them, that they sort of neglect those closest to them, which I've always find baffling. But I don't live my life like that, because I'm not interested in a big circle. It's too many people to manage. Inherently, most people betray you anyway. So I'd rather build a circle of people that I truly trust, where you can have that bond, truly be yourself, because sadly I think most people are toxic and weak. Yeah, I try to help people, and hopefully people um, sort of move away from being like that, and they start to live a life that's more fulfilling. But based on all that information, yeah, I think I'm pretty awesome in a world that's incredibly toxic, personally. So it'd be hard for me to say, oh, no, I'm not that good. It's like everybody's showing me how amazing I am, in all honesty, and that's the thing. It's not that I'm not like I walk around with inflated ego. I just have a confidence to myself, because I see so much flaws in so many people, and it's like, that is frightening. Because most people, sadly, are mentally weak. Again, I try to build that up by doing my books and things, and it's me showing people how strong you can be, and then eventually you'll see the weakness in other people too, but hopefully won't lord it over them. And again, like in the way I help, maybe try and encourage people, but don't waste too much energy on it, because you've got your own life. And as soon as you start believing in yourself and start loving yourself, what are they going to do? They're going to try and bring you down, because they feel inferior. So now your light is making them feel weak. You're making them insecure. That's the thing. It's everything's counter. It's a kind of counterbalance. Your security makes them insecure. It's thick, isn't it? It's like, so yeah. I'm not going to lower myself to make someone feel comfortable. They'd have to just rise to my level, or just stay frustrated and start lashing out. But it's either way. It doesn't change how I feel about me. And yeah, and those closest to me know who I know enough about me. And it's like the fact that they never want me to leave, I think, is a signal enough that pretty great. But anyway, that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, I find it funny because I know it pisses people off. That's the thing, and I am someone. I have my humor goes all over the place. I can make myself laugh, but I can also, when I really want, make people laugh. But I also have a very, very sarcastic sense of humor. So sometimes I find things funny just in the fact that someone doesn't understand the joke, and I find the joke hilarious for it. Oh, look, I'm knocking everything over. Um, so I always find that quite funny that I find saying that I set a joke up or something and they don't get it, and it's like, yeah, 'cause it's usually at someone's expense. But I try to do that less now because that's slightly toxic, slightly. But humor's humor. If something's funny, it's funny. Again, that goes full circle, doesn't it? It's okay. Effectively, there's this comedy thing I watched a long time ago. It was on TikTok, and the guy said at the time, he said, if you're, and I put it in my book, I quoted it in one of them. I said, if you're offended, understand it's okay to be offended. And I freaking love that. It's like, get comfortable being offended, because effectively everybody has an opinion, and it's not for everyone to bend their own opinions to make you feel comfortable because you're mentally weak. It's like, you got to understand, not everybody's going to agree with you, and it's okay to have different opinions. That's what it's saying. But it's such a blunt statement, and I can be very blunt. So I saw every angle of what they said in immediately, and I was like, I bloody love that. That's great. That's going in my book. But again, the wrong people get triggered by that because they'll see it so flat and plain. To say, oh, that's rude. I'm allowed to have an opinion. Yeah, yeah, but so is everybody else. That's the thing, isn't it? It's not just your opinion. The world doesn't cater and center to you. And that's the thing people really need to understand. That if you're going to make it in this world and thrive and survive, you're going to have to understand that everybody has an opinion, and it's not for you to bend your will to them. So like I say, I'll do my best to help people through my books and the videos I do. But in the end, it has nothing. It has no difference to my life. I'll try and help, but I'm still going to live my life the way I want to live it. So if someone agrees or disagrees, it's in some ways it's just irrelevant though to an extent, because I'm still continuing. So my life isn't governed by applause or people being angry. It's like it's so irrelevant. I'm on my own path. I help move on, and I'm comfortable with that. Um, yeah. But anyway, like I say, it's really important that we do see our values, because I think it's just stupid that you have to minimize yourself to make other people feel quite comfortable. It's like, why should I say the opposite to everything? Like, I'm not saying I'm a 10 in handsomeness. I've never thought I was like insanely handsome, like you put me on a book on a cover or anything. But I'd say maybe a 7 or 7-ish. I don't know. But I would never say I'm at like 5 or 6 or any lower than that. I think that's just taking a piss. That's just being realistic. Why should you have to say you're ugly? Why should it have to be like that? We all know innately what our levels are. There's some incredibly handsome people out there, and I do not pretend to compare with them. But then, why do I give a shit? I think my personality far outshines a physical attractiveness. That's from my opinion. But each to their own. Depends what you're looking for, I guess. Yeah. Anyway. I think I've just turned a whole session of trying to self-empower people to empower myself, to inflate my ego. God damn. But as you can see, I have a confidence in myself, but I'm very grounded and stable though. I don't lose my head in the clouds. I just continue doing what I'm doing anyway. So even though I believe that in myself, I don't walk around, look at myself in the mirror. I don't do none of that shit. I've got no time for it. I'm too busy building and creating and being. It's just an innate awareness. I just walk around with an innate awareness of who I am, and I continue to evolve and become stronger and wiser. And that's what I focus on, always upgrading. And it's not to lord over anyone. It's just there's going to be times when maybe I do speak upon it and it'll piss people off, and it's like something to work on. Something to work on. But hopefully other people will start seeing that in themselves. But it's not about just seeing that in yourself. So it's like be honest with yourself. This is the part people miss with me. They won't realize the level of healing I've been on. 7 or 8 years I've been alone. And that takes a lot of hard work. I kid you not. Like, there's always going to be desires. You're going to get frustrated. Then you start thinking, I need to get on the dating apps. Because we all want company. You want to share your life with someone. You don't want to go through the whole life single. It's sad. But then the other side of that is you become, the more you're with yourself, the more you get to understand yourself, And then because you haven't got someone to lean on every day, you have to lean on yourself. So you go through so many layers of healing. It's unreal. And I don't know, someone that's never been alone will never understand that. So it's not about just embodying it and saying I'm this, I'm that. Well, are you though? Or are you just pretending? Because you still have to do the work. But if you could be honest with yourself and allow yourself to be vulnerable, then one day you can get there. But it's not overnight. 10 years ago, I was a hothead. I was stressed as shit. And I would lash out like crazy. I think my ex said that you're the biggest hothead I've ever met because you can literally switch so fast. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was like. I was temperamental, never physical, but I was temperamental, and I would get really angry at things if something, and I switch, and I can be really angry quickly, and that's just a part of it. But it's like they can bring that out of you though, so it is what it is. I wasn't like a bad person in any way, so I don't sort of like walk around with regret in that sense to think, oh my god, you was horrible. No, not really. I was just frustrated with life and the way people treated me. And it was making me lash out more, and I was getting a bit more, you get more reactive. So if you get reactive really fast, then that says a lot about where you are on your journey. It doesn't mean that's who you are as a person. It just means, maybe learn to be around people who respect you and start respecting yourself more by putting yourself in situations that are better for you to make decisions that are best. And now I'm just less reactive. I'm still reactive. I can be reactive at any moment, but I calm down a lot quicker as well, though. And a lot of time, I enjoy the act of observing. So I like that. So even if someone's kicking off and they're getting a bit aggressive and stuff, I don't really feel that intimidated. I just watch. I'm more of like interested in the psychology of it all. It's like what's going through their head and stuff, and it's like what makes them think that's the best way to handle this situation and things. Because you've been there yourself, maybe where you've got angry a lot, and it's like, yeah. So now I'm relaxed. It's like I'm chill, and you'll find that people that have been through it, they change. So we all have the ability to change, of course. But it's really, like I said at the beginning, it's really about self-reflecting though and being open with ourselves to see that and be ready to heal. Because most people live in ego, so they won't humble themselves. They won't allow themselves to be vulnerable because that ego challenges that. It goes the other way, doesn't it? Um, and then it stops them going through the healing process and upgrading. So they end up this frustrated version throughout life. And then every time they see someone either successful or confident, it's a threat to their illusion, isn't it? So they feel challenged by it, and it bothers them. Something to work on. Something to work on. Um, anyway, hopefully it's been some level of help. Because what it is, with my confidence in myself will either be challenging to someone or self empowering. And I think it's really important to see it from both directions. I'm not saying people should be doing that and going, oh my god, this guy's incredible. Oh my god, best person I've ever met. I don't even seek none of that. I don't even want people doing that with me. I don't. I've always said that I'm not looking for recognition. I don't seek it anywhere in my life. I just create to try and help people see it in themselves. And by going through it, I've been able to showcase that. So yeah, maybe people will look on and go, well, yeah, these qualities, I can see that, or maybe that confidence is great. But then maybe on the other side of that, you can also say what parts are unhealthy. It might be all right thinking that, but you don't need to say it out loud so much. You don't need to make other people maybe feel insecure. That's understandable. I'd agree with that. But when you're trying to teach someone, then it's important that sometimes we do speak upon it. Because if we're all shy from expressing ourselves, then how the hell does anyone hear anything? So it's a double-edged sword. You can either go within and never say anything because you're scared of other people's reactions and you don't want someone to feel bad. But sometimes we're going to have to shine a light on things for people to heal it. But like I said, two sides to the thing, and I get it. But yeah, hopefully it's gone some way to helping people because that's the whole point in the end. I would say I don't need my ego inflated. I already love who I am. Yeah, that's a good thing.